Welcome to the course Crafting a Killer Pitch. In this series, you'll learn to construct and deliver an investor pitch and pitch deck. Developing a great investor pitch requires learning, hard work, and practice. This series will help you with all three. This course is divided into 6 modules designed to take you through the pitch development and practice you need in consumable chunks. This module, Market Narrative, will help you communicate the business opportunity that you are pursuing. The market narrative is the opening narrative of the pitch. It describes the business opportunity that you're pursuing and sets up the following narratives that describe how you'll construct the business to pursue the opportunity, the team and resources you've put together to build the business, and the investment opportunity. Let's begin building your market narrative. Our first task will be to present the opportunity, the customer problem, and your solution, the size of the market, and how you will dominate your competitors. The market narrative answers 5 questions. What problem are you solving for your customers? How are you solving it? Who are your customers? How many whos are there? That is, how big is the market? And who else is solving the same problem for your customers? Who are your competitors? This is at the front end of your pitch because it establishes that there is a market opportunity worth pursuing and worth investing in. Set the stage for your pitch by describing the problem that your company is going to solve for its customers. Make the problem come alive. A common and effective way to do this is to describe the problem for a specific customer, a real customer if possible. In your description of the problem, you need to make clear why this is a big enough problem that customers really want to solve it and are willing to pay to solve it. If investors don't believe the problem you're solving is important enough that customers will be willing to pay to solve it, preferably pay a premium price to solve it, they will not be interested in the rest of your pitch. Here is a statement of the problems that Airbnb solves for its customers. They've identified 3 key problems: price, the traveler's experience, and connecting with local hosts. Travelers face other problems also, but these are the 3 that Airbnb has identified that they can solve. Next, you must make clear that you have an excellent and innovative solution to the identified customer problem. Don't describe the bells and whistles and don't make it technical. Make it clear how your solution works and how the customer will benefit from the solution. You do not need to give away the keys to the kingdom. No proprietary information should be in your pitch. Tell them what you're doing and how it will work for customers, but you don't need to tell them the details of how you do it. Remember, these pitches are public. You can have the proprietary conversation with interested investors later, one-on-one. With these first 2 slides, the problem slide and the solution slide, you will have described the customer's current situation, bad, and their future situation when they have your product, good. Make these 2 scenarios as visual and concrete as you can. Here is a succinct statement of Airbnb's solution. Note that they haven't talked about the whiz-bang technology they've created or the code they've written, just the customer value that they provide for their travelers and their hosts. Saving money for travelers, making money for hosts, and sharing culture for both. Now that you've told your prospective investors what problem you're solving, you need to tell them who you're solving it for. Who are your intended customers? You should address both who your early customers are or will be, and how you will expand your market as your company develops. If you have early customers or have done validation work with potential customers, you can use testimonials from them to support your case. Airbnb makes their intended customers clear in a very straightforward way. People on walkabout, people on vacation, and people traveling for business. In your narrative, bring your customers alive with very short stories that illustrate how the problem you're solving impacts them and how your solution will make their lives or their businesses better. Now that you've described the problem that you solve, for whom, and how, you might include a slide that summarizes these in a statement of your value proposition. Make this clear and pithy. It should be an attention grabber for your investor audience. Next, you need to tell your investors how big this market is or how big it could be. Give them an estimate of market size, typically total addressable market, which is a measure of the size of the market that you'll be able to reach. Establishing market size is important. If the market is not large enough or is not credibly presented, your investors will stop being interested. Units are generally more informative than dollar amounts. This is not a forecast of your sales. It is a statement of how large your market is. Quoting the size of an existing related market is often not helpful and may lead to investor distrust of your story. For example, if your business is constructing golf courses, the total dollar value of the golf industry is an irrelevant number. The number of golf courses is barely relevant. The number we need to know is how many new or rebuilt golf courses there are each year. Then, if we know the average size of your revenue from a golf course design project, we can know the overall size of your market. Estimating market size is often a blending of art and science. In this slide, Airbnb shows 3 cuts at the market. They begin with the size of the entire travel market, measured in trips booked, which is a very relevant measure for their business. Then they carve out the part of the market most relevant to them, trips made on a budget and trips booked online. Finally, they carve out their share of that market. Investors also want to know about who else is or will be competing in your market. The first rule of competition is that there is always competition. What are customers doing now? Are they solving the problem themselves? Are they just living with it? Are they using inferior or more expensive solutions? Are they not even aware of the problem? What other companies are pursuing your value proposition or a close substitute for it? And who will enter as you become successful? Success breeds imitation. Who else has the ability to enter this market? And how are you going to defend against them? It's often useful to develop a diagram that shows how you're different than your competitors. This can sometimes be accomplished by a 2x2 diagram using a couple of key relevant variables and then plot each competitor on these variables. Choose the variables so that the diagram shows you in a unique space on the diagram. The central question behind this slide is, what is your strategy to attain the leadership position in your market and keep it? Each business is going to present the elements, problem, solution, customers, market size, and competitors differently according to the nature of your market and of your business. It's important that you capture and emphasize the elements that are strongest for your business. We suggest that you begin with an outline that will provide the basis for your slide deck and for your narrative. Put the highlights and visuals in your slide deck. Tell the story in your narrative. Stay out of the weeds. Keep your statements short, pithy, and clear. Avoid jargon as much as possible. If you can't say it in 3 sentences in plain English, you're explaining, and you will put your investors to sleep. Get to work. See you in the next module.